Miss TiTi Talks is in the building.
What's
Hi!
up? What's up? How
How
you
are
doing?
you?
Listen, rode hard, hunger, dry, but still too blessed to be too stressed.
Listen, girl, let me tell you though, let me tell you real quick though.
Talk to
I
me.
was so excited about having this conversation with you tonight, girl. I had got all fancy or whatever because I was like, I don't want my little headphones and things to be showing. Girl, I done forgot to put the damn headphones in my ear, girl. That's how I'm feeling right now. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
okay.
I was actually just stalking your website once again. Because I told you I've been lightweight stalking you, girl, on the cool. I'm super excited to be having this conversation with you tonight. So I don't think I even told y'all who I was. There might be some new people out there. So let me let y'all know who I am. My name is Latrice Sampson Richards. I'm a mental and emotional wellness creative, licensed professional counselor, and a certified life enhancement coach. And I am the host of Unicorns Talk podcast, and the lead event consultant for Afros and Audio. And I'm super excited to be here with y'all today. We have Miss Adrianne Bates, also known as TiTi,
Yes.
also known as what's all your aliases, girl? I was
Yo.
listening to something on your one of those. I think it was your intro on your
Yeah.
website,
Yeah.
and you was talking about all of your different titles and all of your different names and
Yeah.
everything like that. And I was like, oh my God, that's so true. Like
A lot.
we're many things to many people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
I have all kind of names. My birth name, my government name is Adrian. So people who know me from way back are familiar. Of course, they know Adrian. In high school, they call me Grandma. So if they see me, from back in the day, and I hear Grandma, I already know. I know them from high school
You
days.
saying grandma like
Yeah,
mama?
yeah,
Okay then.
yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. I was Grandma in high school, man. I used to be walking around my little belt and shit, getting stuff. And or it was almost like I'm Benjamin Button, like I'm aging backwards. Like I came
Yeah.
here an old woman, but now I'm like, as I get older, I'm getting younger. So.
Well, cause listen, girl, let me tell you, girl, that good black don't crack, girl. I'm talking about you looking good, girl. As I just finished eating a whole plate of fried food, girl, and I'm
Baby.
sitting here on the phone with my mama, and I was like, girl, I have been eating so horrible during this quarantine. I need to get my life together, like for real, for
Me too, but that's okay.
real.
Every time I remind myself that I haven't been eating all that great, I just eat a couple vegetables and see if that'll kind of balance that thing out a little bit. But I thank
Well,
you.
listen.
I thank Afros and Audios. I'm excited to get into the conversation. It's always interesting to be on the other side of the microphone. When
Yes.
I'm so used to just interviewing people and talking to people, so I'm always intrigued by the few opportunities that I have to actually be interviewed. So it's always interesting.
Yes, it's almost like we switch roles, because I'm usually the
Hmm.
one being interviewed. And so I'm really grateful for Afros and Audio as
Hmm.
well because through this partnership that I've had in this platform that they have created, it's really given me an opportunity to start making that pivot and start, seeing things
Yeah.
from the other side. And like
Hmm.
I really enjoy it. It really has enhanced my creativity. And we're gonna talk about all of that tonight. We have a whole
Right.
hour, and so we're gonna make sure that we get into it. But I want to start off with, who is TiTi? We talked about you
Hmm.
have all of these different titles and you're many things to many people and all of that. But I really believe that it's extremely important that we do our best to show up as authentically as we can in every single day, especially for our art. I think that the purest form of our personal creativity, really our creative genius,
Hmm.
I think that lies in our authenticity, right?
Fact.
And so one
Fact.
of the things that I just love about you is that you are so intentional
Yeah.
about showing up. Like you are so intentional about saying, this is who I am, and this is who I am today, and then this is who I might feel like being tomorrow,
Yeah.
but all of it is me,
Fact.
and
Yeah.
I stand by it. So, my first question for you tonight is who is TiTi? Who is
Yeah.
TiTi?
Before I answer that, I just want to shout out the beautiful Stephanie from Mocha Minutes. I see you shouting out in there. She interviewed me. I came onto her show and was a guest, so I just wanted to show mad love and respect to Sister Stephanie from Mocha Minutes.
Hey, Stephanie.
But and Brother Talib, I saw you on there too. Who am I? I'm so many things. At my core, I think I'm a healer and an educator.
Mm-hmm.
Just in very simple ways. A lot of what I do kind of is expressed either through the healing arts or through some type of educational type of thing. I'm also a super creative. I kind of dabble into a lot of things. I'm interested in technology. I'm interested in gadgets. I'm interested in production. And, I'm a music producer. I'm also a DJ. So there's a lot of, so this is actually my studio room here. Behind me is actually my turntables are behind me.
I
my
love
vinyl
it.
collection is over here. You can't really see all of that stuff, but
Well, I can imagine it. I feel like I'm in the room,
I'm just always trying to evolve, my day job is I'm a physical therapist by trade. So that's what I do most of the days. I also moonlight as a professor at FAMU sometimes. I also am a massage therapist, which has kind of been on hiatus since all of the COVID-19, although I have been doing virtual massage tutorials for families who are kind of quarantined together but still want to have some massage
Yes, I
services.
saw
So
that on your website. Yes, I was like, girl, what's a virtual massage? Let me get into that.
Yeah, I kind of my clients did it. Really, my clients did it. When things shut down and because I work at a hospital, I really wanted to limit what I was doing. I really wanted to limit to going home and going to work. I wasn't trying to be in and out in office spaces and other people's homes and stuff. And so I paused it when my clients were calling me, yo, I'm stressed out. Yo, is there anything that you would recommend? My back is flared up, all of this stuff. And so I was like, well, why don't I get on the phone with you and your husband and I can tell him what to do, or I can coach him in how to do certain things. And it just started off like that. And then it just kind of took off until I started to do like date nights, where, the one person out of the couple will tell me what's going on with them. Their neck is bothering them. They've had migraines, tension headaches. Another person, the other person will tell me their back pain, their foot has been hurting them. And then I can kind of guide their partner on how to offer them, to give them a massage with my tutelage. And I kind of, I talk to them. Did I go out? Can you still hear me?
No, I can hear you. I love the word tutelage. Like, I love how listen, I love words. I think words are, I'm so big on communication. Mm-hmm. And so there's certain words that when I hear those words, I'm just like, oh, that's a nice word. I like that word. So as I'm listening to you speak, you said tutelage, and I was like, of course she said tutelage.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes. Tutelage is all the way live and important.
Yes, it is.
But because I do that a lot. Tutelage and people, rites of passage work with young people. But also I've also been on the receiving end of that. I have a lot of educators and elders and people who have taken me under their wing and have helped to guide me. I have really good parents who were very instrumental in just molding me and setting. My parents, I tell people all the time, my parents set me up for success. Really.
Yeah.
They threw the alley-oop and I had to bring it home.
Well, listen, if I've only known you for the amount of time that I've known that we were going to do this interview, and when Ty first recommended for this interview to happen, I was like, yeah, I'll check her out. I'll look her up. And the more I started just researching you and like just kind of digging into all of the different little crevices and things like that, the more and more I was just like, she got something right over there. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
appreciate that.
I love that it is so apparent how comfortable you are in your skin. And like I said, in whatever version that is, on whatever day that is.
Right.
You know, you talked about, you have all of these different little things that you do. Once, you know, you got your DJ bag, you got your producer bag, you got your tutelage bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got, you know, you have all of these different things, and all of those things go into making you who you are. On your website, you described yourself as Afrofuturism personified.
Yeah.
And I had to reread that sentence like 4 times because I was just like, well, what the fuck is that? Like, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, because the idea of Afrofuturism, I think for a long time, the Afrofuturistic movement was seen as something that was really, like, you know, catchy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like being extra just for the sake of being extra, or it was some people, I've even heard of people kind of describe it as like, oh, that's like a cosplay kind of thing, or something like that. But we've seen here lately, not lately, really over, I would say, the last 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years or more, we've really seen the Afrofuturism movement come to the forefront, right? And it's really garnering a lot more respect.
Absolutely.
It's garnering a lot more interest. I think people who didn't even have the words to identify who they were, the Afrofuturist movement has really helped to provide them with a vocabulary to describe themselves. So what role does the Afrofuture movement play in the actualization of Black people as a whole? Meaning, in what ways has the Afrofuturism and the actual Afrofuturistic movement really pushed us forward as a people in terms of how we identify with self?
Right. So I think that's something that the answer to that is something that's constantly evolving. When I think of, let me shout out Dr. Iyeli Chile, a good friend of mine who also was on my most recent episode of TiTi Talks. She actually wrote that. I talked to her. She's a good friend of mine. And I said, you know, can you write my bio for me? Because she's an amazing writer and she knows me. She's a good friend of mine. She knows me very well. So I said, I'm curious to see, I love to collaborate with people and let them do their thing. I love the element of surprise. So when she came back and wrote that bio and put that, I was floored too. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to shout that out real quick. But when we think about Afrofuturism, I know I point a lot to Octavia Butler. You know, she is somebody who kind of is one of the early gardeners, you know, of that orientation. And then when you add on top of the fact for me that I'm an unapologetic Pan-African, which is a huge thing for me. So I'm a Pan-African who also is very interested in science and technology and spiritual technologies and things like that. And so I see us taking a lot of this information and parlaying it into a fresher and more updated way, you know? And I'm starting to see a lot more of it happen. Before, it was just like, you know, a scattered group of people here and there that maybe were dealing with this type of information and thinking futuristically outside of some of the norms, you know, that we were kind of trained into. It's like, it's either you're going to be Du Bois, you know what I'm saying?
Like, oh my goodness!
Or you're gonna be Garvey.
You have to be this or that. You have to pick a side. You have to choose a side. And that frustrates me so much because we talk about how Blackness is not a monolith. We talk about how, you know, there's one way to be Black. There's no one way to express your Blackness. Like, but it seems like for a lot of people, that's just lip service. Because when it comes down to it, either you're Christian or you're going to hell. Either, either, you know what I'm saying? Either you're this or you're that. There's not a lot of room in the middle. It seems like people don't really enjoy being in the gray. And, you know, as a therapist and just as a human who pays attention to other humans, I understand why a lot of us are uncomfortable in the gray space. It makes sense because we lack the necessary skills to navigate the gray space, you know? And so that's where I come in, because my goal is to teach us the skills that we need in order to be able to navigate the gray space. But it's extremely frustrating because I see so many of us who struggle with a sense of self, like really being able to identify a sense of self, because we are surrounded by people who have no idea of what it really means to be connected to yourself. And so when you come along and you saying, well, I don't feel like that's me. It just doesn't feel like that's true to me. And they're like, nigga, get a job and move on. Get a job, make some money. Don't come over here asking me for nothing and move on. Don't nobody care about your feelings. Don't nobody care about what you want, what you need. Go to church, marry a woman, marry a man, have 2.5 kids with a dog and a white picket fence. Follow the model. Like, just do it. Just do what you need to do in order to survive. But we are the first generation post civil rights, right? So we are the first generation benefactors of the civil rights movement. We grew up with every civil liberty, you know, that was owed to us. And we are really the first generation to have that. And so for the first time in existence, Black people have options now. We can choose to experience life in a different kind of way. And I think, you know, there's a huge cultural gap that exists within the culture. And I don't want to call it a generational gap, because I feel like there's still a lot of people in our generation as well that can't see past tradition. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't necessarily feel like it's a generational thing. I think it's a intracultural kind of thing, you know?
Absolutely. It is definitely something that's embedded into the culture. And what's been interesting to me is, you know, I tell people all the time, my comrades are the full plethora of Black people.
That's another one of my favorite words. I use that word all the time. Plethora.
My comrades are Christian. They're traditional African religious practitioners. They are Muslim. They are atheists or agnostic. They are Moors. They are repping Black indigenous people. They are Hebrew Israelites. These are my comrades, because you know, the things that we have going on, I'm just here to connect with the people who are clear on that. How you want to express yourself spiritually, culturally, I'm excited for you. If it's something that's making you a better person, if it's lifting you and your family up, if it's giving your children a good insulation and safe space to be and grow and develop, I don't give a shit what it looked like. Because integrity is not based on any of those things, you know,
at all.
And I just wanted to backtrack. There was a sister who came up here. She was asking what Afrofuturism was.
Yeah,
so
I come back around to that.
I just looked it up real quick, and I just didn't want to leave them hanging. I'm gonna read what the Wikipedia say real quick. It says Afrofuturism is a cultural aesthetic philosophy of science and philosophy of history that explores the developing intersection of African diaspora culture with technology. It was coined by Mark Derry in 1993 and explored in the late 1990s through conversations led by Alondra Nelson. Just for whoever asked that, I just wanted to make sure so that people were clear on everything that was, that we're going to be discussing. I just don't want to leave anybody behind back there. But yeah, so, I mean, it's all embedded in the culture. And I'm so grateful that we're in this space and time to have these type of opportunities. So my grandfather will be 102 in September. He'll be 102 next month. Right? Wow. So he was born 1918. And, I talk about this often, like when he came to this earth, he couldn't have even imagined anything like the internet. Like it was beyond whatever he could comprehend as a little boy growing up in Tennessee in 1918. So I take that orientation with me. It's like, well, if he couldn't imagine that, then whatever is coming in the next 100 years is going to be beyond what I'm even able to imagine. And that's Afrofuturism to me. In the realm of African identity, Pan-Africanism, and things like that. And that's why I really enjoyed, Black is King. There's a lot of back and forth about, what people think about it. And I have a lot of critique on it. And I just recorded a show last night, actually, about it with a good friend of mine. And hopefully I'll have that out in the next week or so. But I really wanted to take my time and talk about it because I have a lot of layered and complex feelings about it. And there's absolutely room for critique. But right now, I'm just happy to see Black people, like Black Panther. There's critique to be had, but I'm happy to see Black folks enjoying something on one accord. The scope and the scale, it was visually stunning. It was a true Pan-African project. There was people. I heard all kinds of. I saw somebody look like my uncle, and I heard people speaking Bambara. I heard people speaking Zulu, Yoruba. I heard all kinds of just. And saw all kinds of beautiful things that I see in my own travels with TiTi Talks, with my own show. Because, TiTi Talks is a Pan-African show. And so I've done shows in the Caribbean. I've done shows in Africa. I've done shows in Ghana. I did a show in Rwanda. And of course, I've done shows all over the United States. And so what I see in my travels, I saw some of that in Black is King. And there's, it's extravagant and it's a little over the top. And you can have your Black capitalism critique on that shit as well. But shit, when have Black people not wanted to dress the fuck up?
Listen.
Clearly they ain't been to Ghana because them cats be dripped out. It be rings on every finger. The kente be flowing. Listen, we gonna be drippy.
If we don't know how to do nothing else, we know how to get dressed, okay?
Listen, the drip is going to happen whether the Black capitalists are involved or not, okay? The drip is happening.
That motherland drip, you know what I'm saying? That motherland drip. I watched Black is King for the 3rd time today. And each time I watch it, I feel like I need to watch it at least 2 more times. Because each time I watch it, I hear something different. I see something different. I connect to something differently than how I connected to it the first time. When I was listening to it today, I wasn't even watching it because I was working on a project. So I was listening to it. And I heard a line that she said that I feel like I ain't never heard that line before. And this is the 3rd time, watching it. I love the direction that Beyonce is going in terms of not just like from like a musical standpoint, although I do love the evolution of her sound and things like that as well. Because I was never like a hardcore Beyonce fan. I mean, I always acknowledged that, she was at the top of her game. I love her music.
No matter how you feel about her, you can't.
I've never been a card carrying member of the Beehive. You
I
know what
tell
I'm
people
saying?
that all the time. I've never been a Beehive member, but I fuck hard with Beyonce. I like her. I like her a lot.
Listen, I fucks with Beyonce, especially because I think she really is putting on display what I would hope any creative would hope to be able to do.
Listen.
It is to be able, if to have your art grow as you grow, to be
Yeah.
able to display
Yeah.
your growth in your art. I was just having this conversation with my mama earlier today because everybody been asking me. I got my Unicorns Talk podcast shirt on tonight. I don't know if
Yeah,
y'all
hold on, let me see it, boo. Let me see
you
it.
know what
Rap.
I'm saying?
You gotta rap your set, girl.
You know what I'm saying? I love Unicorns Talk podcast. It was the first major creative endeavor that I ever really embarked upon, and
Mm-hmm.
it is the creative project that actually got me to see myself as a creative. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for me, identifying as a creative it was a thing for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, it
yeah,
was a
yeah.
thing. So Unicorns Talk podcast, it's something that's extremely, extremely special to me. But I feel like I have grown past it at this point. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it is complete as
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
And every time I try to go back to, everybody like, when you gonna do the third season? I'm like, it's coming, and it's been like a year, and people still asking for it, which is a blessing, and
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
that. But I can't get it out because I'm not in that place in my life anymore, and
Yeah,
it's time for my art to grow with me, and
absolutely.
so I'm just in a different place. So I feel like Beyonce, we are seeing a model
Yes.
of what I would hope that any creative who takes their art seriously, whether you do it full time or part time, any creative who takes their art seriously,
Yeah,
who needs their art. I don't know about you, but I need my art. Like,
yes.
I can't not create, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So for individuals like that, we are really seeing what it looks like to have your art grow with you, and to really be a representation of
Mm-hmm.
the internal work that you're doing on yourself and the
Yeah.
internal growth and maturity that's happening. And that's how Beyonce got me. I can't, I don't know if I got a card, if I'm the card carrying member just yet, but I feel like I'm like one step away from going online and ordering my Beehive card. You know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
you know what? If I ever do join the Beehive, I'll go gladly and happily because
yeah,
I love to see. Because the thing about it is, let me tell you, if I had Beyonce's resources and money, I would have put Black is King out 10 damn years ago. It would have, you know what I'm
listen.
saying? It wouldn't have been called Black is King. It probably have been like the niggas is taking over. But but seriously though,
That's
Black AF. But no, no, but I'm people are shaped by their experiences. People are shaped by how they brought up. So the lens that Beyonce is bringing, she's bringing a Texas girl who's been a star most of her life.
yes. She's
So
telling her
this is her lens.
yeah.
She had a father who was a hell of a businessman.
Yeah.
He listen, I love he has a book on media, basically. Media. It's on what do they call it? PR, public relations. He has a public relations book that's fantastic. Her father is very brilliant in that way. Her mother was a businesswoman, stylish. So she's coming from that aspect. And so it's not gonna look like somebody who maybe didn't grow up with both parents, or
Yeah.
maybe did not grow up with certain amount of things that she did grow up with. So it's going to look a little bit different. And there's definitely a lot of class conversation that needs to happen. But I feel like that needs to happen very gently. It has to happen with a lot of grace and a lot of understanding between us. And I appreciate her lens in doing what she was supposed to do. And it's not going to look like how everybody else do it, you know?
Yeah.
And so I salute her for that. She put a lot of Black people to work.
A lot.
She put a lot of Black people to work.
The first time I watched it, I read the credits. And I'm just seeing pages.
You still reading the credits 3 days later.
Still just going and going and going and going.
Yeah.
And at one point, I stopped and I looked at the screen and I said, Beyonce paid all them people.
Okay.
Beyonce cut each and every one of them.
Okay. Okay. Homecoming too. Oh, you know, Lemonade too. You know what I mean? And I feel that because, you know, I started off doing music production stuff. And I found out, before I even knew what a podcast was, when I would have people here at my house in the studio recording, I would keep the mics hot. Yeah. So that we could record talking, because that's always good stuff to catch. And, you know, people are always clowning and joking and saying little stuff and making little sounds. And it's cool just to save all of that stuff. And so I started recording conversations before I even knew what a podcast was. Yeah. You know, it evolved from there. Then I was just like, ooh, that's a good way to put some beats on the music, blah, 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 blah. But my experience from music production helped me to be able to edit and produce and put a podcast together. Yeah. And then, you know, all of this stuff, then evolving, doing a lot more. Because before I used to just be in here DJing by myself in the house, as most DJs do. Most DJs DJ in the house 10 years before they even get somewhere. You know what I mean? They just be home scratching up their mama records, you know, most of the time. And then eventually evolve into becoming very proficient in their craft. And I feel myself evolving more into films. You know, I've produced shorts and I produced animations, and I just finished up a project where I edited some stuff for a sister of mine, her cooking show. Yeah. You know? I didn't even realize that 10 years ago, you wouldn't have been able to tell me, you know, I got out of PT school 13 or 14 years ago, that I'd be up here with a production company. Listen. Producing content. I wouldn't have been able to even wrap my head around, you know, listen, in 10 years, I may just be having my little house in the woods growing hemp and just sitting on my backyard, you know?
I don't see why not. I don't see why that can't be the goal. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you, girl. Hopefully by that time, we'll be good Judy's. And you can invite me over to come sit on the porch with you from time to time.
Come on.
Yes, ma'am. So you actually already kind of pivoted into the direction that I really wanted to go in. Outside of just your overall, you know, essence and how you show up, that really kind of drew me in. I'm attracted to authentic spirits. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so I can tell, because I don't really know how to be fake. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not my thing. I don't really know how to be nobody other than
against my religion. It's against my religion. Yeah.
Exactly. So I am very sensitive to inauthenticity. Mm-hmm. And so I was initially drawn in by your authenticity and your overall aura and energy. Mm-hmm. It feels very, very pure and very, very clean. And then I started looking at what you do. Mm-hmm. And I saw that you are an amazing DJ and you're also a producer, as you just said. Yeah. And that's what really piqued my interest, because I have been more and more interested in moving into the production side of things. Mm-hmm. And right now, you know, we have the Afros and Audio Virtual Summer Series, which is sponsored by ACAST for the stories. Shout out to ACAST for the stories. And our last month topic was a novice tech talk. And so we had Wise, we had Conscious, we had Africa on there. And they were talking about, you know, just all the things tech. But then we got into a conversation about production. And I was extremely, extremely interested in that conversation, because one of the things that I have begun to realize is that I don't really know what a producer's supposed to do. Like, I've been producing my own stuff, but that was me operating in the silo because I couldn't afford to hire nobody to do nothing. So I was producing, I was editing, I was writing, I
Baby.
was recording, girl. I was
Hello.
making all the graphics. I was doing
Hello.
the social media. I was doing everything. So I never really developed an understanding, a clear understanding of what it means to work with a producer.
Mm-hmm.
And so my question is, how do you go about collaboration in that way when you are acting as a producer and someone has come to you and said, hey, I would like for you to help me bring this to life? What is
Mm-hmm.
the role of the producer? But
Mm-hmm.
then also, what does that collaboration process really look like where you can produce something that they can look at it and say, this was my vision, but something that you can also look at and
Yeah.
say, I feel connected to this work.
Right. Right. And a
Your
lot of
mic
it
is a little
is.
low.
Oh yeah. Can you hear me now?
Can you turn it
Did
up
I?
a little bit more?
Yeah. I had a tech issue, and I
Okay.
had to reroute everything. So
I mean, we
if
can hear
it's
you. We can hear
if you can
you.
hear
It's
me, you
just
can
not
hear
as,
me.
as clear as it was. Not as
Yeah,
loud.
I had to. Yeah, it. Long story. I don't need to go into that.
It's
But
all good. We can hear you
I've
though.
been
Just go for it.
okay. I've been fixing it on the fly.
Okay.
But what's been going on for me? I don't. At least not at this point. I don't go out and search for people. Generally, when I'm working with people, people come and seek me. And people usually seek me because I stay true to like my stylings.
Yeah.
I like good sounds, clean, clear sounds. I like warm sounds, whether it's the instrumental that's going on. If it's a
Yeah.
visual thing, I like it to look beautiful. I like it to, you know, I'm big on presentation. Presentation is
Yeah.
everything. If anybody knows my parents look good. They always just, my parents fine for real. You think I'm cute? They cute. But I was always surrounded by beautiful things. My mom,
Mm-hmm.
all you know, my mom and dad, they kept the house tidy. We had beautiful artwork all around the house. So I was literally surrounded by good looking, sounding, feeling, smelling, tasting things all the
Yeah.
time. And when you
Yeah.
grow up that way, it's always gonna, manifest in whatever you do. So people seem to be attracted to that aspect of whatever I can do. So
Mm-hmm.
that's half of the battle. When people come to you, that means that they're kind of, I don't want to use the word surrender, but they're kind of opening themselves up like, I trust your
Yes.
vision. I
Yeah.
know you're not going to take advantage of me. I know that, I have a good, professional record with people. And so, word of mouth is a big deal. It always will be. And so
Yeah.
people come to me like that. And I always like to just sit and listen. What is it that you want to do, and just really take detailed notes. I feel their energy out, and try to make sure that I can translate that energy that they have as best I can. It like I did a project with a sister. We're about to wrap that up in the next couple of days. And she hit me up this morning. She was like, it's perfect, it's exactly what I wanted. And she was like, I love it, my kids love it, they were dancing around the living room, we just really enjoyed it, because I sent her a rough cut of what we're eventually gonna put out.
Yeah.
And basically the role of the producer is basically people management, really.
Mm.
People and time management, project management. I've been trying to do a lot more delegation as of recently. It just got to be too much. I was doing too much. I was just doing too much. That's all that was. I was doing
Welcome
too
to
much.
the team too much
Team
family, girl.
too damn much. And so I've kind of been, so I may delegate out a video, somebody to shoot a video for me. I may delegate out somebody to do just a rough edit, and then I can come back and clean some things up and do some final things. It's really about making connections with people and finding the right people for whatever job you're trying to do. I was like, I want to start doing some stuff for kids. I was like, I want to play around with animation. So I hooked up with an animator. And I found the animator on Instagram with a hashtag search. I just put hashtag Black animator. And you go to somebody's Instagram page, and that is their commercial. and they're supposed to have all of their stuff. And you go and you look, boom, oh, I don't like their style. I don't know. That looks great. Let me save them, send them a message. I reached out to 2 or 3 people. I actually wanted to work with a Black woman. Right. So I reached out to all the Black woman animators, but for whatever reason, some of them didn't get back to me. Some of them, the vibe wasn't right. Some of them, it just didn't work out. Maybe they had a conflict with other projects. But I ended up stumbling across a brother named Dion from, I believe, St. Louis. And I told him what I wanted. He laid it out, boom, boom, boom. I mean, within 3 weeks, we had a full, cute little animation, and I'm considering doing a lot more children's content, educational content. So I'm actually working with educators right now.
Yeah.
To try to do it on a book. I even got a little, hold on. We even working on a little prototype. She need to get her hair done. This is my TiTi Talks doll.
Oh, look at her.
She's fighting the power. We got to get her wig together, though. We got to get this hair together.
Listen, girl, that's relatable content. That's
but you know what I mean? All y'all little quarantine kids look like this.
Because let me tell you, girl,
my niece got a hold of the bun. That's
you
what
see
happened.
These roots, girl. These roots is doing big things. That is relatable content right there. I love it.
You know, I'm here to do stuff for the children. My niece done took her shoes off. She has some cute little Chuck Taylors on. but you know, TiTi for the kids. TiTi's for the kids, and I've been trying to do a lot more stuff for the children. But for me to do that, I need to, and I'm also a pediatric physical therapist, so I work with children. So I work with premature children and children with special needs and things like that. And so trying to do stuff like that. So I've spent time in African-centered preschools. I sat on the ground with the children and was sitting there watching the teacher.
Right.
To absorb how do children really learn. You know what I mean? You know, I talk to educators all the time. I did a podcast with a children's book publisher in Rwanda at the end of last year. So, just trying to constantly expand on your craft. You know what I'm saying? And, constantly push the limits on what you're producing too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could do a full feature-length film at some point in time. Who knows? It may not happen until I'm 70, but that's okay.
It's gonna happen.
Here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that's what production is.
I love it. And I'm so very, very, very interested in, really pushing my personal creativity and like seeing where it goes. I have coined the term mental and emotional wellness creative because I'm a therapist by profession, and I'm a certified life coach, but I am a creative first. And
let me tell you, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I was listening to your show about you quitting mental health.
Yeah.
And you were talking about one of the big things was feeling restricted. You weren't able to be creative. And I have felt that in many ways. But I when you just said that, I just thought about that from listening to your show.
It's so true. Like it's, I hate that feeling. The way I describe it is, like I was saying earlier, as a creative, that feeling of like you have something in you that wants to come out, but you just can't get it for whatever reason. It just won't come out. To me, that is like excruciating. You know what I'm saying? Like it's extremely uncomfortable. And I'm an empath as well, which I think is what makes me so good at what I do, but at the same time, it's, it's a bitch at the same time, but I physically feel it in my body with that sense of feeling restricted. And so really being able to like branch out into the creative side of mental health and really rewriting what that looks like, because It's not
Yeah.
a thing. It's not
Yeah.
really a thing. I mean, we have play therapy and things like that, but everything is so like we talked about earlier. It's so structured. You know,
Yeah.
it's this or it's that, and I'm just not that girl. You know, I'm like a octagon, a
Yeah.
dexicon or something. You know, like I'm
Yeah.
not a
Yeah.
square box kind of girl. So the creative process allows me to be able to connect to my audience and to be able to help as many people as I can, because at the end of the day, that's the goal, is to
Mm-hmm.
help as many people as I can for as long as
Right.
God will allow me to do so.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've really, now that I got a new job, I'm not doing one-on-one like direct client care anymore. I'm in mental health administration. So really having an impact on, like, from the other end, in terms of all of the things that I hated about the mental health industry. Like now I have a real opportunity to change some of those things.
Right.
So
Right.
that's
Right.
very, very
Right.
rewarding, but also just being in a better place emotionally.
Yeah.
Next week is on August 12th, next Wednesday, is the third installation of the Afros and Audio Virtual Summer Series sponsored by ACAST. And I am presenting for that particular one. So y'all go and register. It's
For
free to
sure.
register, afrosanaudio.com. Make it happen. But our topic is virtual stage fright, how to overcome your fear of showing yourself online. And
Yeah.
so what we're really going to be talking about is how do you give birth to the thing that you're intended to give birth to? You know, how do
Mm-hmm.
you get over your fear
Yeah.
of being great and
Yeah.
putting yourself on
Yeah.
display in that way,
Yeah.
because it's stopping you from being able to have the type of
Word.
impact that you're supposed to be having. So for me, that it's a very, very personal lesson. You know, it's a very, very personal lesson because I had to overcome that within myself, and that's why I feel like I can speak on it. But I'm finally feel like I'm in a place where I am emotionally stable enough that I could really like spread my wings. I have never
Yeah.
had this type of freedom in my
Man, listen.
creativity before, and I'm excited to see what I could
Listen.
do. I feel like
I
I'm just
want you
scratching the
to.
surface.
I want you to. Brother Baye, I saw you on Agboato. I should have waited for. But
Oh,
so what
okay then.
he
Listen,
he greeted me in your
listen,
he greeted me in Yoruba. I'm greeting him back.
listen.
Um,
I had enjoyed that, girl. I
but
enjoyed that.
listen,
Thank you for that. Thank
I need
you.
you to listen though. Listen, y'all, listen. I'm a doula too. I'm a doula too. So that means that I'm with women when they give birth. You know?
Mm,
So you're talking about giving birth to an idea and a vision.
yeah.
Whether the mother is scared or not, the baby is coming.
Yes.
It
Oh,
doesn't matter if you're scared. The
girl.
baby is still gonna come.
Yeah.
All mothers are a little bit scared and a little bit tentative when they go in, even if it's just a little bit. Sometimes it's a lot more depending on just the personal circumstances or just the orientation and personality of the mother. But whether there's fear or not, it's coming. You have to be okay with looking like an idiot for a second,
Yeah.
and you have to be okay with looking like a genius too.
Yeah.
You have to be comfortable with both of those things. You
Yeah.
have to be very comfortable. I can't even listen to my first TT Talks episode. It is garbage.
Oh my God.
It I don't but it doesn't matter.
Girl.
It doesn't
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. This is a marathon. This is a
Yeah.
marathon. I crank out content all the time. Video, music, live streaming, DJ parties, all kind of stuff. And some of that shit hits and some of it does not.
Right.
I
Right.
can sit up and put a post up I'm excited about. Yes, this one is gonna really touch people's heart and soul. And don't nobody give a fuck about that post. Will feelings be hurt?
Yeah.
Feelings be
Yeah.
hurt. And that's okay. And then I'll come in and do a little blase post or whatever. And next thing I know, boom, the shit had, shares all over the place. And I'm like, I wasn't even
I wasn't even
anticipating.
trying that hard.
You know what I mean? And that's just how it goes
Yeah.
sometimes. It is totally okay to be scared. And a lot of times, and I know you probably know this from the type of work that you do, that a lot of people's resistance to it, it starts off with not even really having a chance to have that level of exploration as a child.
Yes.
If every time you wanted to do something, they were like, stop, no, put it down, no, you can't do that, you can't do that, we can. When you hear that over and over and over and over again as a child, when you get to be an adult, you're always questioning yourself, you're always second guessing yourself, you're always, well, should I, or should it, because as when you were 7 years old, your mama didn't let you climb the tree and bust your shit one time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not for any, I'm not here to blame mamas and parents or anything, but
no,
that's just what happens.
That's in an effort to protect us, they have really forced their fears upon us.
Yes.
My little cousin did that. My first, I call him my nephew because he's my cousin, but he's my godson. So I call him my nephew. And when he was first born, I would say maybe he was not first born, but like 2 or 3 years old. They came over to my house to visit, and I had a dog at the time. Cute little bitty dog, girl, a Chiweenie. And the little dog just wanted to play. She was real friendly and everything like that.
Energetic, yeah.
My cousin was afraid of dogs. She didn't care how big or how small. She was not about that dog life. You know what I'm saying? When the baby came in, he ran up to the dog. He wanted to play with the dog. He's like, oh, a puppy, He was excited. And she said, oh, no, Jay, don't do that. And he was like, well, what? And then he started crying. And for the rest of the day, anytime the dog would even get close to him, he would start crying. I said, you just made him afraid of dogs. He was not afraid of dogs before you did that. You put your fear into him. And that's how it happens. We model that behavior. She said, them dogs will bite your ass. The fear is real.
I mean, that's true. Dogs can do that too. But guess what? People crazy too. People bite your ass too. Shit.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you.
I work at a hospital. Listen, people be rolling up in there with all kinds. Listen, I ain't getting it.
Listen.
Yes.
Well, look, I could sit up here and talk to you all night. I just looked at the clock and we have 6 minutes left.
Yes.
And I want to make sure that I give you enough time to tell the people how they can reach you, how they can work with you. I'm going to be taking some notes too, because I feel like I need to make a phone call. I need to schedule a consultation or something.
Hit me.
But let the people know how they can keep in touch with you or work with you if that's something that they're interested in doing.
Sure. I'm pretty accessible. I'm all over the internet. I'm on Facebook, Adrianne Bate, B as in boy, ATE. I have a TiTi Talks Facebook group. If you're on Facebook, join the TiTi Talks Facebook group. We be in there having a good time. I have it's a lot of my content too, but I curate other content and we have conversations. It's a lot of really intelligent people in the group, mixed with a little sprinkle of ratchetry.
Which I enjoy.
Because
everybody needs a little ratchet in their life, We
have to have they say it's buffering. Okay, sorry. I still see you clear. Hopefully
I see you clearly as well.
But yes, you can find me there. You can find me on Instagram at TiTi Talks, TiTi Talks. I'm on Twitter at Miss, that's MSTT Talks. My email is mstttalks@gmail.com. You can even hit me up on tttalks.com. You can send me a message through there. Thank you for putting that in there. I'm pretty accessible in that way. I even shout out my business line on my 850-509-1194. That's my cell phone number. Hit me up on the low. So you can shoot me a text.
Listen, and she got balls.
That ain't mine. That actually was from Mike Jones' old cell phone number. I just put my number.
Oh, okay.
I do have bars, but that ain't mine. I ain't gonna claim that. Right, Sophista Ratchet. You feel me? So you can follow me there. TiTi Talks podcast is on all the major streaming apps. I have a YouTube channel with a whole lot of video content. You can subscribe to me on YouTube. Wherever you know, internet activity is going on, I'm usually in the middle of it, stirring the pot, you know, doing some stuff, connecting with people, talking to people. Yeah. And if anybody has any quick questions in the comment, please ask them before our time is up. I you know,
yeah, and if we can't get to the questions right now,
or
if
you can send them to
we're
me.
gonna repost it, you know,
Word.
like they can hit you up directly and ask those questions
Absolutely.
directly.
Absolutely.
I want to take a quick moment again just to remind everybody that next week, August 12th, is the third installation of our 4-part Afros and Audio virtual summer series sponsored by ACAST for the Stories. I am your host and your presenter, and I'm super excited to be doing that. Our topic is virtual stage fright, how to overcome your fear of showing yourself online. So we're going to be giving you all the tips that you need on how to speak your truth, how to give voice to your perspective, and how to connect with your audience in an authentic and meaningful manner. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about. Once again, we got 3 minutes left, so I just want to tell y'all real quick. Follow Afros and Audio at Afros and Audio on Instagram and Facebook. Make sure you go to afrosandaudio.com to sign up for the newsletter. And while you're there, go ahead about halfway down the page and check out the Afros and Audio 2-day virtual festival. So we had to cancel the festival this year because, you know, that Rona. And so we have decided that we're not willing to just let it go. So we're going to give y'all a virtual experience.
Yes.
You can go ahead and purchase your early bird tickets. It's going to take place on November 14th and 15th. And we have a jam-packed lineup for you all. We'll be sharing that information soon come, as my Jamaican husband says. Soon come. Information soon come. So y'all head on over to afrosandaudio.com. My name is Latrice Sampson Richards. You can follow me here on Instagram at Latrice Sampson Richards, on Facebook at Latrice Sampson Richards. You can join my Facebook group, Trust Village. It is a safe space for healing and manifestation, specifically for Black women. And tomorrow is my birthday.
What?
My
Happy
38th birthday. And
Yes.
I am launching my membership program, my online school, Trust Village Academy. So make sure that you join me on my Facebook page. Thank you. So that you could get my extra special discount code for tomorrow that I'm not announcing until tomorrow. So make sure you show up in the building. Okay? TiTi, thank you. Thank you for existing. Thank you for being comfortable with the way that you exist. And thank you for allowing us to experience your existence.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for doing what you do. I appreciate it. And I'm also writing a book on what you were just talking about. So keep that in mind about you know, virtual stage fright almost. I don't want to give too much away. But soon come. Ain't that what you
soon
said?
Come, as my husband says, as the Jamaican folks say.
I appreciate you. Shout out to Brother Talib, shout out to Afros and Audios. Thank you for everybody who came on. I appreciate it. I may just hang out and be live after this goes off and just click back live on TiTi Talks and sometimes I do hashtag AMA, which is Ask Me Anything, and you can just come and ask me stuff. So, you know.
So after the club is the after party? Because Instagram said we got 17 seconds left. They're about to shut us down.
I know. But thank you.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We love y'all and we appreciate y'all. And until next time, be well. Bye. Peace.